Hello and welcome to the Worn and Wound podcast. My name is Blake Bettner, and I am in studio today with a full house. I've got Thomas Clark over there. Hey, Thomas.
Hey, what's up, Blake?
Not much. I've got Zach Weiss right there. Hey, Zach.
What's up?
Patrick.
Hi.
There he is. We've got Zach and Concord on in the machine. Hey, Zach. Kazan.
Hello from the machine.
Yeah, and Kat Shoulders. Hey, Kat. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Real well. Wow, we have a lot of people in here today. This should be fun, and we've got some fun watches to talk about. I think as well. I fear if we do a wrist check, we might take up the
20
entire
minutes.
show. Yeah. Does anybody have anything of note that they want to talk about? I see a Seiko 5X Worn and Wound watch over here. SPGW Genbi.
Yeah, Genbi Valley. Yeah, 277.
277. Love it.
The green.
Yeah.
The green.
And what is it? What is that, Patrick? What do you got on?
It's 1986 Adanac that was issued to my dad.
Love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
rad.
It's beautiful.
actually
Actually, and
fun watch.
that strap is really awesome as well.
Yeah.
And a 12-hour bezel.
And a 12-hour bezel. Look at that.
You could even travel in it if you want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's all right.
Zach, Kat, what do you guys got on there?
I've got the boring sub.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
So boring.
Who
Not
likes
a
a
sub.
I'm wearing a Seiko Alpinist that I haven't worn in quite some time. Blue dial Alpinist.
Cool.
Is it on a leather strap, Zach?
It sure, you better believe it is. It's
September
September
1st.
1st. It's unofficially fall.
All right.
Heading into Labor Day weekend.
Yep. Our
Leather time.
Our white pants are put away, so we're ready to kick off fall. I think.
Better.
Oh, I've got the Porsche Design Chronograph 1 on.
There you go.
Yeah.
And just like Tom Cruise.
Just like
Could
Tom
not.
Cruise. Yeah.
Could not.
Somebody asked me that walking
Yeah.
down the street. Are you Tom? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He saw the watch.
And you're like,
he saw
I'm
you.
3 feet taller than Tom.
Sorry, Tom. I'm sure he listens to this podcast.
He's taller than me.
He is like 5'2", right? Or something.
No,
No,
but he's like
really.
5'7" or something.
Okay.
Okay, we've. You know who else is
I'm
ready
also
for fall? Tudor. They just dropped a watch on us this week, relatively by surprise. I remember the first time we caught wind of this. Some random person with zero post history made a thread on the Rolex forums, and like 4 weeks ago, I think I sent it to you. I was like, "You see this? Does anybody know anything about this?" And we're like, "Oh, this guy's crazy." Sure enough,
Totally dismissed
on the
it.
30th,
Oh.
Rolex Tudor drops the Pelagos.
No.
Pelagos.
Pelagos.
39. And we all saw it and we're kind of like, oh yeah, of course. That makes a lot of sense. However, there's a few things that I think caught us off guard, and I think all of us have a few maybe little niggles with it. So we thought we'd talk about this and then maybe something else. And I think this will be fun because we all maybe feel slightly differently about this watch. So first off, any of you planning to buy this watch?
I would love to. I would like it in blue.
I noticed a lot of
But-
commenters saying that.
Yeah.
Bring it out in blue, or a lot of like small changes. Give it a matte dial, give it a date, give it all this kind of stuff.
Blue feels inevitable, I would
Yeah.
say. Blue feels inevitable.
Yeah, it's
So,
interesting because I feel
you
like
know.
the 58 is more popular in black than it is in blue, but the Pelagos with the snowflake setup, I feel like it has to be blue. And
Ah,
I mean, it did exist in black,
It
but
did.
But the blue snowflake is like
It's the one.
quintessential,
kind of the one. Yeah.
right?
Kat or Kazan, are either of you planning on buying this watch?
I
That's
have,
a
I have
no
no
for me.
plans.
No plans. Definite no plans.
Wow.
We're
guys.
team no Pelagos over here.
Wow.
Okay, so this is interesting. So let's get into it. So when you guys saw this watch, it was immediately like, no, this ain't it. Or was it like the more you looked at it, the more you learned about it, the more that you were
So
like,
I didn't have a this ain't it reaction. I just had like, this is exactly fine, like kind of reaction. Like it's a 39 millimeter Pelagos. It seems like a natural kind of evolution for the line. It's nice, but it doesn't like I didn't have this like burning desire to like call my AD as soon as I saw it or anything.
You know what, Zach?
Didn't strike passion in my heart or anything like that.
That's probably a healthy reaction, Zach.
Did you, even though you're a former Pelagos owner, it didn't feel a little pluck of the heartstrings to get back to that Pelagos land?
No, because I think there's something about that that LHD that's like, which is the one I owned, which is kind of like still kind of like strange, and there's something weird about that. And this is just like so normal and kind of like down the middle. It doesn't have that same appeal to me. But I think that's like that kind of down the middle quality is exactly what Tudor was going for. This is like not meant to be like a niche product. I think it's meant to be like a big, like a kind of like a big tent, like mass market item. And it seems like most people are reacting really positively to it. So they did a nice job with that.
You knew that was the game when I read the line "urban sophistication" in the press release. I said, "Oh,
Yeah. Also, I just like don't go to clubs enough to like really make use of this watch.
you don't consider yourself urban sophisticated?"
Wait,
Zach?
is that the sun ray? Is that a little blow with the sun ray? Is that what that is? It's a disco ball to you?
That texture is for the nightclub.
Right, a little bit of flair.
Wow, it's like a satin suit or something.
yeah.
To go with my set.
It's like, there was like crushed velvet, or what is that stuff called?
Oh,
Velour.
Velour.
Yes.
That's what it is, a little bit of velour.
crushed velvet is better.
It's the '70s couch version.
Yeah.
All I think of is Zap Brannigan when I
Yeah.
hear that velour, because his suit, his very short suit, is made of according to him, velour.
This is the captain from Futurama. Am I making this up?
Yes,
Right.
the one and only.
Kip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
Well
first
done.
mate lieutenant. Okay, I miss
Little
Futurama now.
sidebar.
Anyways, Thomas, what about you?
Yeah, I think I want to add this one, man. I
like
think
this one,
yeah,
Good.
yeah. I
sane
think
person.
yeah, I think Tudor has been a hole in my collection. I've have yet to get hands on or own a Tudor, and I think this might be the one. I think the size of the other Pelagos is something that kind of like I didn't want to like add that one just because
Yeah,
of like the
yeah.
size and whatnot.
And you like kind of sub 40 millimeter,
Right, exactly. So the 39 millimeter width and the 11.9 thickness, I think all that comes together in a watch that I think, I want to add.
I'm sure it wears very beautifully. And we should clarify right off the bat here that none of us have seen this watch in the flesh, and so we're all just going by images that we've seen online in the
Our experience, our collective experience.
collective
Of what
experience,
39 is, or
Well, I mean, it is nearly identical once again to the Black Bay 58 in its footprint,
Yes,
but it's going to be lighter and it has a crown guard, less polished surface, no polished surfaces. But I feel like, I mean, every time I put a 58 on, a original, not a pro, I'm always just reminded of like what a well proportioned watch it is, and like there isn't a
great.
dimension you can really complain about. People will complain, but they can, you know what I mean. But like so this even lighter, no polished sides. So the polished sides on the 58 weren't less of an issue for me because it is a thinner watch overall.
Yeah.
And then you and I, we both have the Pro, which I wear constantly, and
Yes. Which we should point out has a date.
it has
So
a date.
Tudor
There's a-
is capable
yes,
of making a sub 40 millimeter watch
with a date.
with a date.
It just is 14.5 millimeters thick. Deal with
Yep.
it. Whatever.
Yeah.
it's a really thick date wheel.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a good one.
Yeah,
It's one of those thick date wheels.
Like a deep dish date. Chicago style.
So one
Yeah.
Shout out Chi-Town.
And I would say if I hadn't recently acquired that watch, I would be running out to get this right now. But because I
Interesting.
have that and I really like it, I don't. I think it would they would occupy too similar of a space at
Yeah.
the moment in my collection. So
I
but I could see the future.
I think another watch that we all saw a slight similarity to, mostly coming down to the kind of like glossy texture or the sunray texture that extended to the bezel itself. So it's not like this matte, insert. It has a flair to it, and so does not in a very different way. The Seiko SPB 149 that we own and 143 that you own. This watch sits very much in that vein to me. Like it has a similar kind of vibe and look to it to me. So the bezel insert on that watch has kind of like concentric circle grained into it. So it's got a little. I don't know what to call it. Like it's got a little something. It catches light.
Radial brushing as opposed to it
The
flaring
sun
out,
ray burst.
right.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what our initial concern about this watch was the sun ray texture on the dial itself. And this is a thing that it's been very hard to get a sense of in the live pictures.
It doesn't stand out at all. I didn't notice it from the images that we shared. And I
the
only
press
noticed it on
images
the bezel.
the renders were pretty toned down, but I feel like the various reports now coming out of people trying it in person, they say it's not. It's
It's not
fairly
bad. Yeah.
subdued.
Right. And from the videos I've seen as well, it just seems like the bezel more so than the dial itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But it
I was
is
surprised that people were so. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Wow, people found a thing to complain about on a Tudor. They didn't make the exact
Never.
watch that can fit every single person's desires all at once perfectly.
Yeah.
Shocking.
so. And they come.
bother me.
They had some snark in their Instagram
Yeah,
post.
I liked it.
And since we know you're going to ask, it's 11.9 whatever thickness. thickness.
Love it.
So they seem to be
Oh,
aware.
Tudor said that?
Tudor said
there?
that in the
Yeah. Oh, wow,
official
And like their
Instagram.
launch. and
That's
stuff.
great.
That's funny.
They've become self-aware.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's only slightly sassy though. They're being,
mild, yeah.
kind about.
And then people are like, "Oh yeah, well, did you think about all this other crap we'll complain about?" And they're like,
Yeah, they're like, well, where's the date?
lug to lug. Yeah.
I was really
What
surprised.
did you guys think of the
great-
video that they released with it? Because I watched that like a bunch of times, and I still can't decide if it was intentionally or unintentionally funny. But I laughed every time I watched it.
Wow. How many times did you watch it, Zach?
I probably watched it like 3 or 4 times in a row immediately, and I've kind of like returned to it a handful of times since.
I learned how to pronounce Pelagos. That's
Yeah.
From that
Big,
Mm-hmm.
video.
big time revelation.
Pelagos. Yeah, it's Pelagos.
Pelagos.
You got to draw
Pelagos.
out that
Yeah.
Pelagos.
It's not Pelagos. It's Pelagos.
Okay.
Yeah, they definitely played up though that like, I mean, like to like a little pointedly so that like whether you're like a diver or a sunbather, like it like really played up that that this is not the technical professional
Right.
Yes.
watch that the previous generation was, which is sort of like I'd say if I had a rub with this watch, which is like. Once again, splitting hairs. It's like conceptually, I just don't quite know what the Pelagos means anymore,
Yes.
other than titanium and matte.
Because of
and
this
ceramic.
watch. I would say up
Yeah.
to this point, the Pelagos has been very focused. It's
Yeah.
been very crystal clear in its purpose of being a purpose-built like tool watch, right?
Yeah.
For explicitly what it is. And it even goes into like strange territory, like the LHD, like the FXD. But it was never ambiguous in like who it
yeah.
was for. In this one,
Yeah. Even the FXD coming down in water resistance, it was so for a
it was
purpose.
for a
Yeah.
specific purpose, so this kind of like muddies that water a little bit, into what had before been a very like spot on. This is what this watch is. There is no confusing it. The Black Bay 58 and those watches, I think you could say, go into that. There's maybe a formality and it's easier to wear in XYZ situations or something. The Pelagos was always its thing, like the Submariner to the Sea Dweller type relationship.
Yep.
Maybe so.
Yep. I think that's spot on. I would have been curious. A lot of people a lot of the commentary around this watch seems to be Tudor is giving people what they want. Like they heard their feedback, and I think that's great. We love it when brands listen to feedback. But I would have kind of been interested to see what a Pelagos, I have to start learning how to say it correctly, would look like if they went like in the other direction and like if it was even more of a tool, like
yeah,
a low
yeah.
prof or something.
Yeah, if they made like a deep sea version of it, kind
Yeah.
of
Exactly.
with a weird ass case, that would have been.
They learned their lesson from the P01.
Right. I was gonna say they tried.
That's the Tudor stuff I like though. I like the P01.
Yeah, I agree.
I like
I
the
agree.
I
I
like the
agree.
weird silver Black Bay 58. Like I like it when they do like the truly weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Silver
this
58.
to me felt like they were conforming a little bit, and I think that's my gripe with the watch. I think it's a great looking watch, and I'm happy for all the people that have been waiting for this. But like you mentioned, Zach, I feel like it's a little too refined, and it should be a tool watch, and that's why I liked the matte finishing in the previous version, the helium escape valve. I thought it was really, really cool. Just like the ultimate tool watch, basically. And with this, it feels like they're inching up more towards what they already offer to me in the BB58, something that's in the Submariner. It's this refined dive watch, right? That's kind of dressy, kind of tooly, but
Yeah.
and it's probably more for the everyday wear. So I understand why they made it, but I do kind of feel like they missed the mark in doing something cool with this
I
with
agree.
the watch.
It's far less distinct than the previous Pelagos, and I do agree. It's so akin to what the Black Bay 58 is that the real only distinction in my mind is that it has square hours, and in truth, that to me is a more appealing Tudor diver. So it's
Yeah.
obviously playing on my heartstrings because I like that look, the snowflake, subs. So
100%.
so I could see myself buying one of these over a 58 now, and I'll wait happily for the right color combo. But I do agree that it is.
I was just gonna say this.
Such a
Like,
weird
do you
departure.
think it was ever on the table for them to like just make a Black Bay 58 with square markers? That would have legit been. Like,
That would be dope. Yeah. I would
Yeah.
love that.
and they're like,
Right.
well, we already have a watch that has square markers.
Right,
Let's
right.
just make it.
I mentioned that earlier to
Yeah.
you, and I'm like, but it wouldn't.
They couldn't. They like bought into that being the Black Bay's like thing, and like
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's some sort of 4-dimensional chess going on at Tudor. The way they think about this stuff, like maybe now that's the Pelagos 39 with the like Sunray stuff, but they've dropped the Pro nomiker now. Right. There's other things. So
right.
maybe the
So-
Pelagos 39 Pro is going to come out.
Yeah.
They have a meta certified ceramic Black Bay 41. Maybe they're going to make a like they have all these like little things
which we
around.
haven't
They can
seen,
start.
by the way,
Ceramic
since that
Pelagos would be
watch.
like that would be really
Yeah.
cool. I'd like to see that.
That
Yeah, I was gonna
movement,
go
that
with this,
material,
yeah.
that's been the only.
Exactly. But like
instance of
they wouldn't do all the investing required for one watch that's really niche watch too. Like it's with like a blacked out ceramic bezel. It was like the most high grade movement with the lowest like visibility bezel.
Exactly.
But like they already have like a stronghold, I feel like, on that segment of the market, the like 3 to 5K range, and everyone's trying to play in there. And like the Black Bay 58 was already such a desirable watch, and it's such an easy watch to get into. Now with like this option, they just owned it. They're gonna like. I feel like the people who are questioning their Black Bay 58
Right.
desire are just they have the watch now, and like I feel like now maybe they can get weird. Right?
Right.
They've established everything.
Well, they get to compete with
Tentpoles, right?
themselves this way too,
Yeah.
which is interesting because that was like again holding me back on the 58. I don't really like the circular markers with that handset, but this is
Took
really
me a long
appealing
time
to
to get
me.
used to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
the gilt accents as well.
what's that?
The gilt accents.
gilt
yeah.
accents.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, actually, last time I saw a Black Bay 58, a friend of mine has one. We just have drinks and like, yeah, he's beat the shit out of it. It's actually pretty awesome. He's like really messed it up. But the guilt kind of bugged me this time.
No,
that I
yeah,
saw it,
exactly.
You know,
I
Curious.
think
Used
a
to.
lot of watches from that era are going to be the same. Like, I don't think it'll age as well as people think it will. But you and I were talking about this earlier. I think about the pro designation. We were just kind of having an aside about it, and
it was a podcast.
well, yeah, but he and I like we're early,
Yeah.
and it was like I think we were asking what would a pro ranger look like,
Right.
what would they do with that? Would they just do the comp? And I said no. I bet
That'd
it
be
would
rad,
have
though.
the Metis movement in it, and maybe a titanium case, and then that would like elevate that watch to
Right,
pro level.
and allow them to bump
So
it up that
titanium
much
means
more.
pro.
Yes,
Well,
titanium
it's
is
inherently
pro.
better.
Not for the Black Bay.
You have to ask. You don't already know.
I'm just giving you shit. Yeah.
or make it ceramic or like
Or, yeah.
something like that. You know?
I love the idea of what a Ranger Pro could be. That's really
Right.
fun. That is really fun.
Because you said that, and I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know, where do you go? But then
Right.
once you think about it, they have done things that you don't really think about, that you don't really see that often.
Right.
So
Well, it's a really good base. It's just a time-only steel watch, really
Yep.
reliable, and like, yeah, you can pro that up pretty easily. I feel.
just has an ugly hour hand. That's all.
right. It's subjective, but okay.
True.
Is the Black Bay 58 easy to get still? Can you walk into an AD and get one, or are they still sort of
That's a good
waitlisted?
question. I wonder. I
I
feel
think
like I
they're more
see them come up
available
for
now.
like under MSRP
Yeah.
in the open market.
Yeah, I see them on the used market all the time.
The silver one in
Okay.
particular.
Especially now, right? Like
Yeah.
the last few
Yeah,
days.
especially now.
Yeah. But I definitely just have some friends who have like gone to check out if the titanium was available at their local place. We're like, no, but the 58s were at their their ADs.
No, I still like the 58, and I would still like to see more variants. Of it.
Steel.
They've still only done 2 variants of it.
Right.
That black
Yeah.
gilt. Even if they did just like a black one with white, without they dropped the gilt. like,
Oh, that
put
would
them
be
in, then I think
like
it'd be spot on.
sub killer right there.
Yeah. Maybe put the
guys
rose
are
back
sleeping
on
on the
that.
silver
A little
one, though.
burgundy.
I like the silver one a
Oh,
lot.
the
Kazan, I'm
the
with
stainless
you.
steel bezel, like the Black Bay with the stainless steel bezel. Is that what you're
Yeah,
talking
you,
about?
you
Zach?
forget all
Oh,
these
no, I'm talking
variants
about
of
the
black Bay.
sterling silver Black Bay 58.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
With like
the
that taupe
silver, I forgot about that.
dial.
taupe.
That one,
Yeah.
I really didn't get this. I mean, I didn't get it. I mean, it's such a weird thing. It's just such a bizarre thing, but it didn't like really click. in my head until like recently. I feel like it's the black. This is gonna sound super snobby, but I feel like the Black Bay 58 Silver is one worth having. It's like your second Tudor. It's like if you have a Black Bay like Pro or whatever, because silver, like it's just a strange material on a watch like that, but it really does have like a different reflective quality. Like you see photos of it, it's very white, it's very strange looking, and then the taupe is like a beautiful color, but it's not as nearly as versatile of a watch just in terms of daily wear. So it's like that shouldn't be your go-to day-to-day tool sport dive watch. But as your second Tudor,
I like how confusing this watch is.
I'm very confused
right
now.
Yeah.
Have they ever done another gilt red bezel Black Bay, or is it just that first run?
That was, I think, just the original.
This is the original.
Right?
Yeah.
Do we want that to come back?
And the original, it had the smiley face, so the self-winding or whatever, the bottom line of text was like curved around the dial. And it had the ropes on the dial.
I owned that one for like a month.
That's a cool one.
Yeah. And the Harrods, I owned the Harrods Black Bay too for a little bit. That one was cool.
Longer than a month.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Longer than a month.
Longer than a month.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think like those are the things. I was honestly still shocked that they didn't, for the anniversary of the Black Bay, make a burgundy bezel 58 with a rose on the dial. I think that would have been
That would be awesome.
Killer.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But
Still time.
I
There's
think
still
that
time.
just this year, like, I mean, so they have the Pro, which, I mean, of the watches that have come out, the Pro feels like the weirdo of the group, but like the Ranger is a very kind of core middle of the road, watch. This is obviously this mass appeal version of this watch. I think I do know that they've opened new headquarters and they've increased the capacity. I feel like those last few years of weird releases were them sort of being like behind the scenes, getting infrastructure ready for making these watches that they are going to have to produce in number.
interesting. So maybe we'll be like eating our words, regretting like,
Oh, of course, it's Tudor.
they've made 100 different
You are
versions.
going to regret
and
everything you
80
said.
of them are terrible, and what are we doing? You know? I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I hope it does seem like they are listening though to what's going on. But most of the time I fall on the side of like, that is not a good way to design a watch. Like it's always going to end up terrible if you try to please everybody. Like I'd rather the watch brand just be like, this is our concept with this watch. This is what we want it to be. You don't like it, screw off kind of a thing. But with them going to like, well, we hear you saying this, we hear you arguing about this, so we'll make XYZ concessions, and then eventually you've got all these cooks in the kitchen, and then it just kind of dilutes what the concept of that watch is and was meant to be in the first place. And this doesn't go for Tudor; this goes for a lot of different watch brands. I like it when watch brands have that kind of point of view, like like Lauren
design by
Lorenzo were
committee
talking about the
is
other
always dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know. Because they were like, people were talking to us at our booth about what they would want to see in our watch. I was like, no, you guys know what you're making. Just make that, and that's what people are
And
responding
they have
to.
the things they're stubborn about, and they're like, "That's how it is.
Just how it is.
Our
Yeah. Acrylic crystals. Yeah.
I think that's totally fair.
Yeah.
And I agree.
Yeah. I was also surprised about how many people were upset that it didn't have a date. Like, mostly I feel like we argue about watches that have a date, and we're like, well, it's more commercially viable if it has a date, and it's this and that. Like most watches that we like have dates. And then like every now and then one comes out and we're like celebrate. Oh, it's no date.
It's just like there's the no date people who want the no date, and they're really happy right now, and the date people are like, damn it, and then they just flip it, and it's the other way around.
I've heard that.
But if they put a date, then there'd be the execution of the date. There'd be all the little things to pick with the date.
Yeah.
But
that could go right or wrong in its favor. But is that true
100%.
that like watches with dates sell better? I've always heard this in
I'd
the
imagine.
industry.
It's like
is that a fact?
Yeah.
Like,
Like
is that complication just
the fact that they do it on all these watches, I think, is evidence that this is what people buy. Like for the average Joe walking in off the street, and it's an easy complication to explain. It adds, there's a clear benefit and value there. It's I don't know. I think it makes sense, and I understand that, and my needs. I mean, whatever, like this is a watch at the end of the day. So that's why I think, and I'm sure Zach Kazan, you would maybe agree. You're like, I don't care what time it is or what the date is. Like, it just be, aesthetically beautiful and
second
Yeah,
only
in an
watch?
existential sense, I really don't care what the date is. That doesn't matter. Don't consider
It's
it.
all the same.
But it is because that's the purist's choice. Is no date, right?
Purist's
But
Well, I
this
think,
is-
You're not a
I think
purist if
Butner
you have a
hit
date.
something there with, because like I think with us, it's we have 5-10 watches in our watch box, but most people go and buy one watch to wear. And
Yeah,
so
we're the weirdos here.
some of us have more than that.
That was very
but,
modest. Yeah, those numbers.
Thank you for that. That's right. We are kind of a small minority here. So, one watch that was released today.
Oh,
that does not have a date. I don't think.
Pelagos 39.
No, the Gronfeld 1969 Delta Works. Did you guys see this?
what a thing!
what a
Can we
strange
start with
watch.
the name?
So yeah,
1969 Delta Works.
yeah. So
I
1969 is Bart's birth year,
oh, wow.
and
I
I
just
think
hear
a few
Iggy
other.
Pop immediately in my head when
I think a few other meaningful things happened that year. And then Delta Works is a series of like dams and levees and like construction projects that have shaped like the southwest portion of the Netherlands to protect these lands and
Delta
like,
Works
waterways
sounds
there.
though like a marine thing to me. if I
It
were to
does. It's
say.
got a bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Delta Works 5.
Yeah.
Checking in. But this is like the Civil Engineers Society called this like one of the 7 wonders of the world. Like it over like the course of 40 years, all these things were built to protect like these huge areas of the Netherlands. So it's a cool thing, and that's what it's named for. But it's a sports watch.
Yeah.
It's got some 100 meters depth resistance.
Sports?
It's got
They have a funny name for it. What is it? Sports Active Leisure?
sports active leisure. It gets all your bases right there.
Yeah.
Active check. Sports
kinda
check.
love-
Leisure check.
That's what
Need
I
more
love about
leisure
this
watches.
watch.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean
Something I can lounge with.
no date, man. It's all about the leisure, you know. No hands, no date. Let's go there.
Just dial.
What I liked about this watch. I'll start with because I saw it this morning. There were some teasers, sporty clasp, some things. I'm somehow friends with the Gronfeld brothers on Facebook. I've never met these.
Shout out to them. They are amazing people. Tim and Bart.
They seem really
are
funny too. Like,
they're great guys to go get a beer with and chat. They're down to earth. I love them. So
But I was just gonna say, so you know, the watch is inherently very attractive. I mean, it sounds very attractive.
yeah.
And it's got these bumpers on it. It's really cool.
Yes.
And it's got all it's like things. And the price tag is just like, I mean, because it's
Yeah.
this super high end
Yeah,
independent light. So like, I have to like split my brain into two to kind of think about it. You know what I mean?
Like it's them that like
yeah.
hand finish these
Yeah.
chamfer like, and the bridges are steel, which is kind of a rare thing, and it gives it this like really unique.
It must be
look,
also much harder
there.
to make. Yeah.
So it's the movements I think are that's what limits like how many of these they can make and like the price points and all this kind of stuff, you know, which kind of stinks. My thing was it's the same movement essentially that's in the Principia, and it's like $15,000 more than that. And so, but yes, you mentioned the kind of interesting thing about the bumpers. And
love
there's
it.
like these inserts that go into the case, and you can get them like depending on like the color of the rubber strap, you can get them to match the color of your strap.
Are
So
they-
you could have like blue rubber bumpers sticking out of
I
the
know.
case of this thing.
When I hear $50,000 watch, I think rubber bumpers. But to be honest, I also love like I'm not facetiously at all. I love that there's rubber inserts on this watch. That is so
Can we
rad.
say rubber bumpers one more time, please?
Rubber, yeah,
everyone.
it's KFM rubber. I don't know.
Right.
Is
They
it
make
user
straps,
replaceable, or can you?
No, it's not. So when you order it, that is what it is. I'm guessing if you send it in for a service or something, because they probably have to like open the case to put the thing in there. You could probably do it. So, but it doesn't have to be rubber. It could also be stainless steel. So
Yeah, if you'd rather not go the rubber bumper route.
yeah,
What was it? Patrick? What rubber?
You reminded me of Last Action Hero, where Arnold's like, "Rubber baby Bobby bunkers." Did you think I was going to say that?
wow.
So I just had to quote the best Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
That wasn't
Hot
the
take.
Arnold soundboard.
Jeez.
That was actually Patrick.
Yes, that was thanks. No, I love that movie. Rubber bumpers.
Zach Kazan, maybe we can have a separate podcast about Last Action Hero.
The classic that
Yeah,
is.
that sounds like maybe Patrick should host it.
The best Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
It's up there for me.
is-
It holds
so-
up.
I-
It's still good.
No, let me just stop and say I wanted to watch this with my son recently, and then I like stopped and thought about it, and I was like, whoa, that movie is like kind of effed up.
I saw it in the theater when it first came out. I don't remember what year it came out, but it
I
scared
think
me.
91. early 90s it was.
Yeah.
And but you remember, that like scary guy in the beginning. He throws
yeah.
a kid off a roof.
Right.
Yeah, the guy with the axe, who I've actually
his
seen.
name?
I saw him
Gosh.
walk around New York City once.
Was he in a
actor.
Ripper outfit? Was he in a raincoat with an axe?
Yellow raincoat.
Yeah. Are you a fan too?
Yeah, for sure.
The soundtrack, dun he walks into the scene. That's so good.
I love that movie.
Charles Danson is a killer.
I don't know if we can say it stands up. I haven't seen it, but I hesitated and I didn't
Oh.
show my son the movie
Yeah.
for his
No,
own
that
mental.
was a call. That was a good
There's some questionable scenes in there. It's good though.
Yeah. So we'll have to rewatch it and see what watches are in the movie. Probably not a Groenfeld. At any rate, Kat or Kazan, did either of you see this watch? Did you have any feelings on it?
The Grunfeld.
Yeah, I think it's.
I've seen
I think it's. I love the Groenfeld kind of like house design language. Like I think those watches are really beautiful. And I like it's cool. I've been when they started teasing a sports watch, I was very curious like what a Groenfeld sports watch would look like, and I think it's kind of like exactly what you should have probably expected a Groenfeld sports watch to look like. I'm a big fan of the rubber, the rubber bumpers.
What
They look really cool.
What color combo would you go with?
I really like this orange that I'm seeing in the article that we posted. That's the one that really jumps out to me. But
Guys, there's an olive green. Come on.
That olive green is unbelievable.
Gotta do the olive.
Yeah,
Is
there we go.
it this
yeah,
texture?
I mean that looks cool too. I'm in for the orange.
There's a mix and match sort of a thing. Like there's almost like a customizer on their site where you can pick
Yeah,
the
you can
dial
play with it.
configuration and
Wow.
yeah, just $50K.
Well, I mean,
I just love like when an independent goes this route where you kind of combine the independent aesthetic with like the attention to the finishing, and then you just add in the sports nature. Like it's like seeing a longa on like a bracelet. It's just like that's the vibe I get.
Like I
from
wanted
seeing
this level of silliness from the Odysseus before that came out. When I heard Longo was making a sports watch, I was like, "Ooh, I hope it's like off the rails."
Langen
Like,
son, known for being silly.
Yeah, you don't
I
get
know, I know.
silliness
Like
from
I
They-
know it
that
wasn't
watch,
going to
you
happen.
put that watch in a room and nobody can make a joke.
Yes, that's wow, wow.
They're beautiful
Uh,
watches. No,
Sorry, Jordan, if you're listening. I like this concept as well. And you know who I'd like? Even I mentioned this in Slack. The Romain Guntier Continuum
Yes.
is about the same price as this. I would go that route over this.
no comment. No
no
comment.
I know that you don't like that watch.
no
but
rubber bumpers though.
Well, it has a rubber integrated strap.
It's not the same.
And it's so incredible on the wrist. I can't even describe. I don't know. Zach Kazan, you can back me up on this, right?
I love that watch. I think I'd probably go for the Groenfeld though.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Kat?
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I don't love the price tag, but I love this watch, particularly the salmon accented one with the like two-tone dial on the green rubber strap. I think is just killer. I don't love the rubber bumpers personally.
So
I prefer the steel.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I like the way that it accents the side of the case with the steel. Looking at the case back photos, oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, they know what
it's
they're
a winner
doing
for
back
me.
there. Yeah, I think if I would get the steel and then get like every single color version of the color bumpers, if you could like pop them on and off.
Can you?
that'd be really
Can you
cool.
interchange them on your own?
No,
thinking.
I think
Okay.
they need to do it. So
Probably like
Okay.
otherwise it might come out on its own. I imagine if it was like pop out.
and it's probably not like
Yeah.
the same rubber that like the Apple Watch has. On
Yeah.
it. It's probably some crazy. At least I hope.
I would like to give a shout out to a watch with a rubber bumper that is within most people's price points. The Mühle Glasschütte SAR. This is
okay.
Oh,
an
yeah.
iconically weird German dive watch that has been out for a very long time. I feel like it might be 1,000 or 2,000 meter water resistance or something for search and rescue
Search and rescue.
team.
It's SAR, yeah.
SAR, and it doesn't have a rotating bezel, but it does have a rubber bumper bezel on it.
Okay.
I used to own one. I'm an idiot for having sold it. That's all you need to know.
All right, more dual material watches, please,
Yeah.
people. I know I just advised against brands listening to average Joes like us asking for things. but-
Everything that the Tudor Pelagos is, the 39, the Mühle Glasschütte is. I feel like if you want everything weird and like push buttons, it's that. So check it out. You know?
That's the one?
I'm sure Zach loves it.
Yeah, no, that's a really cool watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's incredibly strange.
It wears weird. You can't put other straps
Which
on
dial
it. It's
did you have? I love this like cream.
When I
dial
had it, they
version.
only had the one, so it was just black. Yeah.
Interesting. So if there was any existing watch out there that we could integrate rubber to into the case somehow, what watch would you do it to?
All of them.
Oh my god.
Any thoughts? I can't imagine anything made better with rubber bumpers, but I feel like the Oris Aquas would be a really cool watch to see a rubber bumper on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because of its rounded nature and like the way the body sits. Like I could see it. It would just look like a UFO or something.
Yeah,
It'd be kind of gnarly though. I think that would work well. Or maybe just take the shroud off a tuna and make it a rubber shroud.
Yeah,
Go for that.
there you
instead,
go.
like a gummy
Okay. Yeah.
rubber shroud.
I like that. What about you, Thomas?
I don't know. I don't know one that comes to mind, but I do agree with you. Like it has to be a watch that'll look good when the case that kind of bows out.
Right.
And the Oris Aquas has that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd add them to like a Rolex Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
Let's rubber that up a bit. Yeah.
How would it sit? Would it sit
Classy.
No, like
Yeah.
like recesses taken out of the case or
Yeah,
something, and
and
like
then
rubber put in
inset?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I could see that. I could see that with your Doxa. I was thinking.
You could get rid of the
That's it.
screw down pusher. and
Make
put
them
like
rubber.
Or like a rubber bumper around
And then
it.
they would just press.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Universal did that, right? With their pushers, like the spacecraft. Or whatever.
Oh yeah. There's that. This Space Compacts has
Space
weird
Compacts.
kind of rubbery pushers on it.
And the
Yeah.
Gautier as well has a little like rubber.
Yeah, that's it's on the crown.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. It's it helps like traction with your fingers, I guess, use it. So I love that watch.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
You know what? Black Bay Pro. It's got a lot of sidewall. You could definitely put a.
Yeah, do
I'm
something
saying
with
this as an owner.
Worthy
I
of
can
a-
poke fun. I bought it. You could definitely put in something on the side there.
Yeah.
Some rubber.
It would be great if pro just meant rubber.
Yes, I can get on board with this. All right, but I want to hear what you think. Let us know what watch you would add rubber bumpers to. Let us know your thoughts on Last Action Hero. Is it the greatest Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? As Patrick was so
Seen 'em all.
bold to
Seen 'em all.
to say.
Remember, he made Predator also.
I was gonna watch Prey actually recently. I need to.
Predator.
Yeah, watch that.
Predator is very good. I'm a True Lies.
I know.
Yeah.
I've
that's
all
so
the way
good.
through. Yeah.
Commando's good. They all got
Classic.
great one
Conan, come on.
Where does
Conan
Jingle
the Barbarian?
Where does Jingle All the Way fall in here?
High.
It falls.
Very high.
Kindergarten Cop, another movie that was way too scary for kids when it first came out. And everyone took their kids to go see it. I was one of those kids. Yeah.
It's not a tumor, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not a tumor, it's a nightmare.
All right, let us know your thoughts on these. Thank you for tuning in, and you can also let us know your thoughts on the Tudor Pelagos 39. Let us know if you picked one up. What are your thoughts on the dial? Let us know. Until next week, thanks for tuning in. Take care.